One of the things that's neat about Clarity, I mean, the changing menu every day elicits excitement. You know, excitement leads to a vibe, and a vibe leads to people wanting to come back and back again and again and again. And then it's sometimes I call it the Goldilocks restaurant, because it's not too big, it's not too small, it's just the right size to get that hug, but have people be able to come in, and it's always busy.
So most chefs these days open multiple restaurants, and by your success, you would think that you would have plans to expand.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's in my nature to, I guess I call it diversification in one location, which again
Also
is
innovative.
It's very innovative. I can do so many things with my clientele. They embrace everything.
So name
they
some
embrace
of those
change.
things.
For example, we'll have a series of what I call Michelin-style dinners, where I take a room and we turn it into a super high-end fine dining experience about twice a month, and we just play and we go for it. And another one would be, just last night we did a sherry dinner with aged sherries. I do barrel picks with whiskeys, and then we have a dinner around that. We might do pho. I do tasting menus, all sorts of creative endeavors. But the difference is it's in one location. Vegan and vegetarian tasting dinners that we do. Another chef might have 5 restaurants. I have one restaurant with multiple ways to diversify that people enjoy.
Who are the people that have made a difference in your life and this life's journey being a chef?
Well, there's a lot of them. I mean, you know, all the chefs I work for, obviously. You know, my wife has taught me, you know, immeasurable and lessons around how to handle yourself, how to handle people, how to cook. Also, she's Vietnamese, and
Oh, wow.
she's a better cook than I am. But she started me on the journey of what I call push cooking.
Wow, what's that?
Which is an interesting concept, actually. Everyone talks about balance in cooking, but to me, balance has nothing to do with cooking. Actually, pushing flavors has to do with cooking.
Flavor.
Even if you were to use salt and pepper don't cancel each other out, right? But whether you use you know, olives or capers or tomatoes or pineapple or palm sugar or fish sauce, you are pushing flavors, and you can't be afraid. Like when you learn to drive, the instructor says don't overcorrect, right? Because you'll flip the car. And I say in cooking, you want to flip the car. You want to overcorrect, because there is no right answer. And that's how I cook.
Bursting for flavor, taste bud explosions.
Exactly.
What were some teaching moments in your journey to be a successful restaurant, and things that maybe were bumps along the way?
Well, I remember, I'll never forget this one either. Frank Sinatra said it took me a lifetime to be an overnight success. And that means, you know, we all have a journey, right? And you only see that current, you know, successful, you know, piece of the journey, and obviously not all the ups and downs that went into it. So I mean, in 2001, I opened 2941. Very successful there. In 2009, I opened Inox in Tyson's Corner. Right in the middle of the recession, there was no going back, and I lost the restaurant. So I was about 20 years too early in Tyson's. Just missed it. And but then I was lucky enough to get a job working on the business side of a major company, not in culinary, that enabled me to learn how to manage myself, my business endeavors, and people in a much more organized fashion. And so when I went to open Clarity in 2015. Business-wise, I was in a different place, as well as emotionally, mentally, and physically.
What are you grateful for?
Well, like I said before, I mean, you're grateful to wake up and not feel like I'm going to a job. I mean, I jump out of bed probably more than I should.
You're living your passion.
it's more than fair the way I wake. It's almost unfair the way I wake up in the morning and be like, I get to do this. If someone wakes up and they say what am I going to cook, what am I going to drink, and what am I going to try today, that's a pretty good day.
And the success of Clarity has some real components, and sum that up for us as we're coming to a close.
Well, it's a real full circle restaurant. I mean, I think it could be, I tell my team, if this ever ended, I'd want to take this exact team and let's go sell something else together, because we're such a tight-knit community.
Wow.
And I tell them that often, so we remember that we're very, very lucky to do what we do, an endeavor in food and wine. We communicate that message to our guests, and they feel it.
So you're creating relationships with your customers in really a deep way. You're out there on the floor cooking, and you're also more than greeting customers. We've all had that experience, somewhat, maybe not.
I truly believe a restaurant, for me at least, is not a restaurant unless we create a relationship together. That way we can serve each other better and fulfill each other mutually a lot more. And certainly, having friends, is something that's positive for business also.
And what are your final thoughts to share with us?
Well, hopefully that people, come to Clarity. When they think of Clarity, it may help them sit there, meet us, eat and drink, and think about their own journey to Clarity. And people say that, that's really, they feel it, that it's a safe place in a crazy world.
And what are you most proud of that Clarity has created in your life and in the Vienna community?
I'm proud that, we support, ourselves, or my staff. It's consistently there. It's going to be there a long time. For the community, they're so appreciative and supportive. It's proud to know when you wake up in the morning that people are going to come and see you, and you can literally just have fun with them.
And what does it mean that you're a DC restaurant that's not in DC?
Well, that's an interesting one that people have told me a lot. It's like I said, it's a worldly community in Northern Virginia. They're looking for a high-end experience in a little bit of a casual atmosphere, which I try to do. They get to know us, which is great. Certainly, the value proposition is increased when you live in Northern Virginia. You're not having to drive to DC to get a meal like an experience that you have at Clarity. So we try to be a DC restaurant that's logistically not in DC.
John, this has been delightful. Thank you for being with us, and much success to you and Clarity. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.